All right, good evening and a very warm welcome to this month's training at the Grow Zone together with Anna Luise and I'm Rima. Hello, good evening, and I'll just be here for a really quick tech talk to tell you basically how this training will work from the technological perspective before Anna Luise tells you something about resilience and why it's important to bounce back and how to achieve such bounce back ability. So before we get started with the content, let me quickly walk you through the website on Rosebud where you are probably hanging out. And let me tell you how to utilize it. So on the website, in the very top, you can see a PDF with the slides that Anneliese made for this workshop. During this video stream, she will continuously refer to these slides. She'll tell you which slide number she's on, and if you click through them together with her, it'll be easier for you to follow what she has to say. And then below the slides, obviously that you have already found, because otherwise you wouldn't know what I'm telling you, you can see the video stream where Anna-Luise will talk about the content of how to be resilient and why it matters. And then even below that, what you can see is a forum. So in case you have any big questions, or in case you want to collaborate with others and meet and coordinate for training exercises, which Anneliese has prepared for you. You can just put a message in the forum and you can coordinate on an appointment to meet online and to practice how to be resilient. So Anneliese will tell you when it's time for that. Otherwise, if you are watching on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at the moment, if you're watching live, then you can also use the chat function that's on the right of the screen, where you can just quickly log in, and then you can shoot quick questions, and Anneliese will be checking the chat every now and then to see if you guys have any questions that she can address straight away in this call. Otherwise, any questions that you have post-talk, basically, if you're not watching this live, any questions can go also in the forum, and we'll be taking a look at this and answering questions there. So to sum up, what you have is the PDF with the slides, the stream, and the forum, as well as the chat function. And that's basically all from the tech side. So now I can give over the word to Anna-Luise, who has an exciting input on resilience waiting for you. Anna-Luise, have fun.
Hello, a warm welcome. My name is Anne-Louise, and I'll be talking about resilience to you tonight. Thank you, Rima, for the technical introduction. Now that everybody has found the slides, let's get started. So our fourth online training will be about resilience, or as Rima has already phrased it, bounce back ability. Well, what's on our agenda tonight? Tonight, we will be talking about resilience. Firstly, I'll give you an input. And secondly, we'll talk about the exercises. If you have questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and we'll be checking up on them later. All right. Going to slide number 3. Let's have a look at the picture. You can see a tree here, and this tree signifies resilience. Why? This is a picture I took on the southern plains of Chile, where there's a lot of wind blowing. This tree is withstanding the strong winds that blow. You can still see that the wind is leaving traces on the tree, but the tree is not dead. And that is exactly what resilience is about. So tonight, I want to explain to you what resilience is exactly, why we need it, and how we can achieve more of it. Looking at slide number 4, what is resilience? There are different definitions of resilience. Wikipedia, for example, says that resilience is the ability to cope with change. Thesaurus says that resilience is the ability to recover from illness, depression, or adversity. And Merriam-Webster says that the resilience is the ability to become strong, healthy, or successful again after something bad happens. So we see that resilience is about recovering from difficult situations as well as possible and becoming stronger than before. This term was coined in the 1970s by a researcher called Emmy Werner, who had a look at children in Hawaii. These children grew up as children of very poor parents. The parents were drug addicts and unemployed and violent in most cases. Well, 2/3 of the kids became like their parents, but 1/3 became strong kids and grew up to lead a happy, sober, employed life. What did they do? So these kids seem to have something that the other kids did not have, and that was called resilience, because they grew up in very difficult conditions, but they became very strong and successful personalities. So they did something better than the others to cope with this constant adversity. This is really interesting because this can help us too. Going on to slide number 5, why would I want to become resilient? Well, the purpose of resilience basically is to cope with problems in a healthy way that makes us stronger. There will always be difficult situations in our life. Imagine you fail an exam, somebody that you really love dies, or you move into another city where you don't find any friends. These can be really difficult situations for any one of us, and we will encounter difficult situations in our life. So we need to learn how to cope with them and how to become stronger, happier, and more successful through these difficult situations. Well, basically, the goal is to become the best version that you can be. Let us go to slide number 6. Resilience. Resilience is not something that you have or don't have, and that's just the way it is. Resilience is a process. So there are ways to develop your resilience. And the American Psychological Association has defined 10 ways of building resilience, out of which I will present to you 8 ways that I found most important. So, resilience can be built by any one of us, and I'll talk to you now how to do it. Let's start with way number 1, building good relationships. Probably all of you have encountered a difficult situation. Maybe you failed an exam. You came home from school and your mom was there to listen to you and take you into her arms. Even then, that situation didn't seem as difficult anymore. Having good relationships helps us be more successful and cope with difficult situations. Probably you all know that. But it is really important to foster good relationships. Identify important people, and then give them a call, send them a postcard, connect to them on Facebook, be there for them, and also ask them for help. Sometimes we have a hard time asking people for help because we're embarrassed or we don't want to annoy them with our problems. But sometimes asking for help can be really important because if you ask someone for help, then you offer them the chance to actually help you, and that may deepen your relationship. Think that when was the last time you asked somebody for help, and what happened? Did they hate you after, or did you grow to have a better relationship than you had before? So, maintaining good relationships is the first way to build resilience. But what's the second? A second way to build resilience is to accept what we cannot change. I put on the slide the Serenity Prayer, which I will read to you now. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Personally, I think this prayer is really powerful because it tells us to accept all the things we cannot change. This helps us save energy because, at least personally, I tend to try and fight things that I cannot change. I think, why is this like this? Why in my life? What can I do? I'm really mad about it. I'm sad about it. And I keep thinking about these things. Really, it consumes a lot of energy, and in the end, nothing ever changes. So, if I accept the things that I can't change, for example, when I'm in a traffic jam and I literally can't do anything about it, well, then I might as well stop worrying because I won't change it. It's just the way it is. By accepting it, I can turn towards the things I can change. Maybe I can call someone that I'm having a meeting with and let them know I'm in a traffic jam and I'll be late. Start without me, let's arrange another meeting. So by accepting everything we cannot change, we can then ascertain our energy to the things that we can change. And obviously, it's important to tell the difference between the two. So, accepting the things that we cannot change makes us more calm, and it helps us just accept some difficult situations the way they are because we cannot change them. All right. Now, let us talk about the third way of building resilience. The third way is move towards realistic goals. Well, there is a long-term Harvard study that took students from Harvard University, and they were asked if they have goals in life, and if yes, if they note them down. Only 3% of the Harvard students said they had goals that they actually noted down. And then they followed up these students, I think about 20 or 40 years, so a really long time. And they discovered that these 3% grew to be really successful. So it seems that having a goal that you even noted down makes you more likely to actually reach that goal. Well, that's the first thing. Secondly, if you find a goal for yourself, it should be a realistic goal. So if your goal is, I want to be the Queen of England, well, yeah, it might happen if some of those princes get divorced and I become the new wife, who knows? But it's not very realistic. So by defining our goals, we should keep a SMART rule in mind. That means that our goals should be specific, measurable, attractive or attainable, realistic, and timely. So our goals should be specific. For example, I want to work out at the pool at least twice a week. Well, that's specific. For, let's say, 30 minutes. Okay, that's a specific goal. It's measurable because I can measure 30 minutes and I can measure twice a week. I can even write it down in my calendar. It's attainable, at least where I'm now. There are local pools that I can go to. It's realistic because at the moment I'm doing an internship, but I'm free after, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So after that, I can go to the pool. And it's timely. If I say I want to work out at the local pool at least twice a week for 30 minutes from now until the end of my internship. Well, my internship ends in 4 weeks, and I want to keep it up for the next 4 weeks. So if we make our goals SMART, and we have goals, we can start moving towards them. Whenever you have a goal, it's important to go in very small steps. So it's important to identify, is there something that I can do today to move towards this goal? Well, today I already went to the pool, so that's awesome. But if I hadn't, well, at least I could make sure that my bag's packed for tomorrow and I can grab my bag, go to my internship, and straight away after I can go to the pool. So it's not about a big step. I don't say, well, I want to go to the pool and work out for 3 hours because I know I can't do it. That's about small steps, and it's about thinking, what is the first step and what is the first step that I can take today? So move towards your goals. Well, we move to slide number 10, or way of building resilience number 4. That way is take decisive action. Probably if you've all been in situations where you feel really weak, vulnerable, and helpless. I have. And in these situations, it's important to take decisive action. So do something about it. Don't stay there panicking or helpless or like paralyzed, but do something about it. For example, there's a saying that is love it, leave it, or change it. So if you're, for example, really happy or unhappy with your internship, well, assess what makes you really unhappy and then take a decisive action. Start to see the good things, then you can love it. Say it's absolutely horrible, I need to change, then you leave it. Or change minor things that will help you make your internship more agreeable. For example, ask what your tasks are and ask for a task that you haven't done so far, but that would really help you progress in your internship. Taking decisive action will help you to overcome this feeling of helplessness and to actually, again, move into a direction that you want to go to. So again, it'll help you follow your dreams and reach your goals. So When you face a difficult situation, take decisive action. Okay, let's decide to go to way number 5, build self-confidence. Look at the picture. That's a friend of mine at the beach who's spreading her arms as if she wants to embrace the whole world. And this is saying, hey there, you know what? I'm really happy with myself. And I'm happy with you guys. And that's what self-confidence is about. It's about accepting and even loving oneself the way one is. I mean, there are things that we're good at. We learn that because we observe what we do, we observe what others do, and this helps us be successful in life. Let's really pay attention to that. If you feel weak, if you feel like you can't really do anything and you're not worth anything, think about what you're really good at. Try to nurture this positive self-image of yourself. And then you might discover that there are some things you want to improve. The first step is to accept that these things are the way they are at the moment. There's a saying that goes, only the things that you accept are the things that you can later change. So only what's being accepted can be changed. So even if you say, oh gosh, I really want to smoke less, I don't like myself when I'm smoking, the first step is to accept that you're smoking. After that, you can go and while still loving and accepting yourself, change step by step. So focus your attention on things you're good at. Focus your attention on what you like about yourself and build from there. Rather than just trying to erase your weaknesses, try and build your strengths. Try to become even stronger in what you're already strong at, because that's what's going to carry you through your life. All right. That was way number 5, but what's waiting for us next? Way number 6 is gain a long-term perspective. Yeah, when you step back and when you're further away from a problem, it might look different. In the resilience concept, it's a bit the perspective is about time frame. So if you think today was a horrible day, for example, I was annoyed because one of the people I work with let me wait for 3 hours without telling me where he is. So I was annoyed, but if I step back and think about it, I'm doing a 3-month internship. This happened once. Yes, it was 3 hours, but I was at my computer, so I could still be doing things. It's a different perspective. So instead of confronting the person I work with, I just got calm and thought, okay, well, seriously, it's only a couple more days of my internship. This is okay. I can talk to him about it later, but in a calm way. And this is not the end of the world because I waited, yes, but it didn't do me any harm, really. So if we can put problems into a perspective that is more long-term, they will usually diminish in size. So if you try and do that in your life. Also, what I like to do is not just like long-term perspective, but general change of perspective. Because, for example, think of all the students you study with. Maybe you're like average, or maybe you're, well, in the top some percent, but maybe you're not the best because it's really hard to be really the best at something. And then maybe you feel a bit meh because you think, oh, I'm only average. But if you're in a really high ranking, if you're doing really difficult studies, then you're average in a really good program. So then you're not average of the entire population, but average of high achievers. So you're a high achiever. I read a book about coming to peace with oneself, and there it said, well, compare yourself to everyone and start with the people you just meet in the street. When I read it, I lived at the local bus station. I just looked at the street every now and then when I felt bad. And I looked at everyone, and yeah, there were high achievers, and there were just like really normal people, and then there were homeless people. So literally, like everyone was at this bus station, and I realized, okay, I'm comparing myself to the people in my class, and yep, it's a good class, so I'm only average there. But when I look at everyone, I'm pretty good. So I know this sometimes, it might sound mean because you're thinking that you're better than somebody else, but really it's about like objectively changing your perspective and really placing yourself, for example, in the midst of all of society or in the midst of a long-term process. All right, that's about perspective. This is, by the way, the Alps viewed from a plane. I really like this picture. All right, the next picture I really like as well. So another thing to build resilience is hope. Hope is about establishing a hopeful outlook. So when you think of something that you want to achieve, it is helpful to visualize what it will be like once you've achieved it. I first heard about this in the context of losing weight, and there are just like two ways of looking at it. The first way, the common way, is, ooh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I really need to lose weight because the way it is right now is not bearable. Well, this will probably make me feel bad about myself because I just thought of myself as ugly and fat. And yep, usually it leads to me eating more chocolate, which doesn't really help losing weight. Another way of looking at it would be to visualize what my life will be like once I've lost weight. So for example, I can think, how easy will it be to tie my shoelaces when my belly isn't as big anymore and it's not getting in the way? Or I think my knees will hurt a lot less when I lose weight and I walk 10K. I will even be able to walk 10K. So I really visualize what it feels like when I've actually lost weight. So this is a really, really powerful tool of getting through stressful situations. So for example, if you're afraid of talking to your boss about whatever it is, maybe vacation or a pay raise, visualize the moment once it's over and you've gotten what you wanted. And feast that moment on your mind, and you'll be a lot more likely to reach your goal. Also, hope is about positive, so it's called self-efficacy. So basically, if you think that you're capable of reaching something, that by itself makes you more capable of reaching it. So hope is about maintaining a hopeful outlook on life in general. So for example, I will get through this, I know it. Well, that's already self-efficacy, but also I think it'll all be good in the end. I really believe it will all be good in the end. And these two things help you push through when you're in a difficult situation. All right, are you ready for the last one? Let's talk about the last one. Way number 8, take care of yourself. Do take care of yourself. Take care of your mind and take care of your body. I know that we're in a lot of stressful situations, in a lot of situations where we don't sleep enough. Sometimes we don't eat enough. Sometimes we don't eat healthy enough. Sometimes we don't even drink water because we feel like we cannot. Take care of yourself. If you love yourself, accept yourself, then you take care of yourself, you'll feel better about yourself. Also, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body. Obviously, you know that exercise is really helpful. Healthy food is helpful. Enough sleep is helpful. A good sexual life is also helpful. So do pay attention to these things. The second thing is take care of your mind. Taking care of your mind is maybe a little more unusual or less common, but taking care of your mind means that, for example, you can resist strong impulses. So if you really feel like, oh, I don't like this person, don't try and go too deep into this emotion. Try and, again, gain a different perspective, maybe put yourself in his shoes. So try and view everything from that person's perspective, and also question your hatred, because if you give in to your strong impulses, they will become even stronger. So that's important for mindful, or taking care of your mind, and also for mind hygiene. Also, Sometimes we think too little or think too much. So meditation, for example, is really helpful to calm the thoughts, but inspiration is really helpful when you're maybe bored or you're looking for something. So try and read an interesting book, talk to an interesting person, or just hang out at the Grow Zone. All right. These were the 8 ways of building resilience. So I'll give you just a really short wrap up. Resilience is the ability to cope with change, or the ability to bounce back from difficult situations, or the ability to become stronger, happier, and more successful after something bad happened. All right. Moving on to slide number 16. As I can be built, and now it's time to talk about how every one of us can build resilience. Let's get started. Slide 17. Exercise part number 1, building your resilience. At first, on your own, so you've listened to my input. On your own, I want you to go through the 8 ways of building resilience and find the 2 ways that resonated with you. So maybe there were some things where you said, yep, I already know this, I already do this, what's up, what's next? But maybe there was something that made you pause or hesitate or think, right, true that, I'm not really paying attention to it. So identify 2 points that you want to work on because they're actually beneficial for you. Building resilience is a very personal process. So this is why I came up with 8 exercises, 1 for each of the 8 ways, because I think that it doesn't help you if you do something that bores you or that is too difficult or just not what you need at the moment. But it'll be really beneficial if you can pick 2 things that will actually help you when you work on it. All right. Then next you'll find a worksheet for every way. So I want you to go to 2 worksheets that correspond to the points you pick. And then you go through the worksheets, and in the end you prepare to present to your colleagues your chosen point. All right. So a lot of these worksheets actually draw on the SMART goals. So I put a quick reminder. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So whenever you're asked to set up a SMART goal, go through the checklist. And maybe you have a really attainable, realistic, timed goal, but it's not really measurable and it's not super specific. So always at the end, go through the checklist and make your goals as smart as possible. All right. So I won't go through all of the worksheets with you, but we'll start with worksheet 1, and then you know how it works. So, for example, you thought, okay, yep, I have some good relationships in my life, but maybe I'm not paying as much attention to it as I could. So you can work on worksheet number 1, maintain good relationships. So firstly, you answer the following questions. Who are the 10 most important people in your life? What characterizes your relationship with them? Who would you ask for help? How are you maintaining your relationships? And is there anything you'd want to change? So if there's anything you want to change, you formulate a SMART goal regarding the maintenance of good relationships. Then you ask yourself, so what's the first step today that I can take today to reach my goal? And what is the next step after that? And how will I assess my progress over time and at which intervals? Okay, say you chose worksheet number 1. You go through all of this, and in the end, you're ready to present your way to the others. So if there's really personal stuff that you want to talk about in a call, well, don't talk about it. So prepare in a way that you're comfortable presenting in a group. All right. So let's say you pick number 1, and maybe you can go through another one. So how about number 6? So there you answer the questions as well. So what was the last time you experienced a great difficulty? What does it look like now? Is there anything really difficult that you experienced about 5 years ago, so 4 to 6 years ago? And what does it look like now? And if you're in an adverse situation now, think 5 years ahead. Looking back from that perspective, what does your problem today will look like in 5 years? And how does this change your perception? Anything you want to change about your perspective? If yes, again, you formulate a SMART goal and you identify the first step and the second step, and also you think about how you'll assess your progress. Okay, so this is what you did at home. And then sorry, I'm having trouble here. Alrighty. And then slide number 27. Now I will wait for you to go to slide number 27 as well. So exercise part number 2 is that you have a resilience building call of 45 minutes and you are in groups of 4. So in the first round, person number A will present during 1 or 2 minutes what they've chosen. So you can start with one thing you want to reach, or you can present the 2. It's up to you. But say you start with 1, then you state why and how you want to work on the specific point, and you basically explain what you've worked on. And then you have 5 minutes to 7 minutes to discuss. So the other people can ask questions or bring in ideas. So basically, it's about supporting each other, and maybe if everyone feels like you can really deal with it, it's a bit about challenging your ideas. Because it's really important to, for example, come up with a fallback strategy. So say your goal is I want to work out at the pool twice a week, 30 minutes. What do you do if you go, if there's a week where you don't go? How do you motivate yourself after? Because you'll feel bad about it and maybe you'll have a bad consciousness. So this is what this is for. So the other can ask questions and can really maybe a bit challenge your endurance, or if it's realistic, or if goal is really measurable, or challenge why you want to do it at all. It's just really important here to remain respectful. So resilience is a really personal thing. Difficult situations are mostly really personal. So if someone's really talking about a difficult situation there, don't go in and say, well, I think your goal is bullshit and I think you should stop crying and just deal with it. That would not be respectful. So I guess you guys all know how to be respectful. So really try and be empathetic and sense if someone's ready for a bit of a challenge, and maybe sometimes people are not ready, so then you'll just keep it to yourselves. Okay. All right. After that, so after about 7 minutes or so, you rotate roles. So then somebody else who's just listened and asked questions presents their thing until everybody has presented and everybody has been in the role of asking questions. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have a feedback round. So everyone will state where they stand now in terms of resilience building, what has changed through this call, what the next step will be, and in order to boost all the other people on the call, what did you find impressive when the others presented their goals to build resilience? Okay, after that, it's time for you guys to be very proud of yourselves because you did a great job. And yeah, after that training call, it's time to say see you next time. All right. At this time, it's up to you. Are there any questions right now? All right. So there don't seem to be too many questions, which is awesome, because I think then everything is clear for you guys. All right. So, sorry. We have talked about resilience in this call, and we've said that resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations and to become stronger than you were before. This is important because everyone will experience failure in life, and by being resilient and building our own ways of finding resilience, we'll become a better version of ourselves. It's really important now, and the American Psychological Association says that as well, to find a personal way of building resilience, because resilience is a process and everyone can learn it. Okay, 1 second. I think my video is off. Let's see what happens there. I think I should be on again. Sorry, guys. All right. All right. So find yourselves in groups of 4, set up a call, and build your own way of resilience. Thank you very, very much for joining me tonight. This was our 4th online training, and I'm already looking forward to number 5. So see you in just about a month. Good luck and good resilience.